wabarakatuh. This is the Prevailing Muslim, and this video is about Islam's strict rules on gender mixing. Western people often critique Islam for its strict rules when it comes to gender mixing. The question one may ask himself is Islam justified in having this position? And the answer is obviously yes. But another question one might ask himself is, can the West justify its stance on gender mixing? Or is it all just based on whims and non-factual beliefs? So let's begin. Even though the people in the West claim to be a people of intelligence and reason, it seems that they only apply this when it fits their agenda, their way of life, their religion. They think that a man and a woman, despite our biological lust for each other, can be friends, just like two men can be friends or two women can be friends. This is like claiming that a lion and a lioness can just live with each other without any sexual activities. A study conducted by Clark and Hatfield, I believe that's how you pronounce their name, in 1978 and in 1982, made an experiment. The experiment was about how receptive men versus women are to sexual invitations. I think that's the name of the study itself. The experiment went as following. A woman would go up to a man and ask him 3 questions. The first one is, would you go out with me tonight? Second one, would you come over to my apartment tonight? And the third one was, would you go to bed with me tonight? Men would also go to women and ask these 3 questions. The results are as following. When women were asked, would you go out with me tonight? The amount of women who said the amount of women who said yes were 56%, more than the majority. When asked, would you come over to my apartment tonight? Now this is a whole other thing now. Only 6% answered yes. That's a huge difference already. When they were asked, would you go to bed with me tonight? The amount of women who said yes were 0. When men were asked, would you go out with me tonight? The amount of men that said yes were 50%, so less than the women. When they were asked, would you come over to my apartment tonight? The amount of men that said yes were 69%. Don't be making any jokes about that. When the men were asked, would you go to bed with me tonight? 0% of women said yes to this question, and 75% of men said yes to this question. What is interesting is that when men were asked the first question, 50% said yes. Even though this is a high number, the amount of men that said yes, the amount of men that said yes to the last question were a lot more, showing that men are more interested in casual sex than a relationship, because a date is a relationship. That's a start of a relationship. That's why you date. But when you look at the women's answers to the first and last questions, you can see that the women are more interested in dating, having a relationship, than casual sex. Someone might say, so what? What's the big deal? The big deal about this is that if you have a society that doesn't take this into consideration, if you have a society that doesn't take this into consideration, then it could lead to women getting tricked into bed, objectified, and even harmed. One of the causes for single mothers around the world is having sex outside of marriage. If you are just having a one night stand with someone, then it can happen, and it does happen, that the woman gets pregnant. Now the man can stay, but what often happens is that he leaves because he did not want a relationship. And as you can see by the results of the study, this would happen the majority of the time when it comes to one night stands, that is, because of the majority of men wanting casual sex, because of the men wanting casual sex, because of the majority of men wanting casual sex more than a relationship. The other thing is the objectification of women in the West. I mean, look at the movies, for example. There is a hero, he fights the bad guy, he gets famous, becomes a king maybe, gets rich. And here's the important part, he gets a woman. The woman kind of is a prize that he gets after achieving, after, for example, saving the kingdom. Like, you know, the famous Mario games, or not the Mario games. If you, for example, just look at any of the Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man saves the day, and he gets his girlfriend, or at the end. So it's a prize that he gets. He achieves something, and it doesn't matter if it's intentional or not. The fact that uh, the fact is that the movie industry has made women into objects. Another thing is commercials. I live in Sweden, so you just know how bad it is when it comes to this stuff. I saw a Subway commercial. Now, out of all the commercials in the world, I saw a Subway commercial with a woman twerking in it. Like this commercial is about food. Why are you showing Why are you showing me someone twerking? The reason is obvious, so so that the company can get the man's attention. If you just show a, I don't know how long those sandwiches are, but if you just show a sandwich, then that's not going to be very interesting. But if you show a woman twerking, then all the men are, oh, what's going on? Um, and the same when it comes to perfume commercials. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I see a perfume commercial, I just look away immediately because they are all like madness. Have you ever noticed this? Uh, so yeah, that's all I had to say. Peace out.